Hey, it's Brock here from Rock Hill Farms, and it's Thanksgiving Day, and I plan to spend some time today watching football and just spending time with family. But first, I've got a few smaller jobs I'd like to get done this morning, and I also wanted to make a video, just say a few things about gratitude, because I'm feeling really grateful today, and just thinking about every day the number of things I have to be grateful for. But I'll talk about that as we go through and do these smaller tasks. I've been spending all of my time on the Quonset hut, so things like the pond and cleaning up this area down here have been getting pushed to the back of the list. So it may be late in the winter or even spring before I finish digging out the island for the pond and getting the bridge set. But I do want to do a little bit of winter maintenance and check on the aerator and just show you guys how the pond's doing. I'm going to show you a couple products I'm going to use from Nature's Pond. That's a brand from Conder's Water Solution, which is the same company that provided me with the aerator. And I can't wait to see the effects that using these conditioners with the aerators have on the pond this spring. But for right now, for a winter treatment, I'm going to use their 4-in-1 septic cleaner. If you make pond products, you're primarily dealing with beneficial bacteria that break down any waste material in your water. And it's a natural fit that a company that makes those products is also going to have a septic treatment. And treating your septic with a product like this helps keep your groundwater clean, because some of that may work its way into your pond. The next thing I have is Nature's Pond Conditioner Fall and Winter Treatment. This is that natural beneficial bacteria that is going to break down the sludge and the muck. When the first time I tried to step off into my pond, my boot sunk a foot into sludge. I couldn't pull it out. I was pulling my foot out of the boot and couldn't get my boot out of the mud. So that's when I knew something had to be done. So this contains all the beneficial bacteria you need, and it's got a little bit of a dye in it. I have a separate dye up there, but this does have some in it. Using this product is going to help cut down any smell that the pond might have. It's going to keep the water cleaner, and the dye blocks sunlight from getting down to the plants that try to invasively take over your pond. So after we get the seeding done, we'll take this down, check the pond, and get it treated. Well, hopefully soon I'll have a spreader that I can mount on the tractor and pull behind. Save me a little bit of hassle doing this, but for today, still the walk behind. One of my viewers told me planting grass seed this time of year, I should be using like a rye or wheat grass. But I went over to Tractor Supply, and what they had was this Kentucky 31 fescue. I believe that the same commenter told me to reseed with this in the spring, but I'm just going to use what they had and get this put down. I've been checking the forecast, and it looks like we're going to have a good stretch of weather, getting into the high 50s or low 60s during the day, and lows around 40, maybe high 30s. And so I think this is the last chance I'm going to get any grass seed down this fall. I mentioned I wanted to talk a little bit about gratitude with it being Thanksgiving, and mainly I just want to say I feel so blessed in life with my family and my friends and the opportunities I've had to start a business and now to run this YouTube channel. I feel extremely grateful for the people who take time to watch these videos and leave me helpful comments, and I honestly learn a lot from the comments, and it helps me to get some of my projects done. So I appreciate all of you who are watching this right now. I had one more note on the pond management. Before I got connected with Conder's, I used a chemical treatment on the lily pads, and it worked, but I much prefer the idea of handling it more naturally without chemicals when possible. So that's what I'm going to try to do in the spring, so that the plants that die off don't rot on the bottom. It's definitely more work manually removing those unwanted plants, but it makes it easier to manage the bacteria and the overall health of the pond by doing it that way. Not that I'm against herbicides, I just want to try something else first. Alright, so I got those 3 bags of grass seed spread. Now I'm going to go get some straw bales and cover over that, see if I can keep it from washing away. I've got some regular straw bales and some of this bagged straw bales from a store. Easy straw with tack. How much easier does straw really get? I guess it's easier because you can put it in your car and not get it all over the place. But I've actually had these easy straw packs still wrapped for probably 2 months, and they've got rained on and everything else, so hopefully it's not moldy. But I'll cut it open and take a look at it. I actually seeded a lot more than that first strip you can see. I went off to my other swale and where the corral used to be. But I'm just gonna go down through here and spread this on top of everywhere I seeded, and then we'll get down and check out the pond. I think the reason they call it easy straw is it's really finely chopped. It doesn't really make it easier to me. Makes it all want to blow away when I wanted to kind of layer it on thick. So you guys know I'm a jack of all trades, but definitely a master of none. And the same's true with this. I always tell people that I have a yard, not a lawn. I don't pay much attention to getting all the weeds out or making sure I have one type of uniform grass, but I don't want any bare spots. That's about as complicated as I get with it. But since I do some landscaping services, I think it's a good idea to improve my skills in this area, and I think everyone should always be trying to learn something new. So my friend Billy, that's been helping with the Quonset hut and is kind of partnering with me on some of my endeavors, does kind of have a passion or an expertise for keeping a nicer lawn. So I think in the spring he's going to come over and teach me a little bit about that, and we'll do a video series on trying to improve my lawn or try to turn my yard into a lawn. So hopefully that's something you guys will find interesting. I thought I actually had more straw than I would need. Turns out it's not enough. I'm gonna get this strip done, but there's definitely not enough to cover that swale. So this is a part of the video where I ask you guys, I'm just peeling layers off this and just breaking it up like that and spreading it out. Is there a more efficient way to do this? I mean, I could spread it with the landscape rake on the tractor or something, but that'd just make a big mess. So if there's an easier way to do this, let me know in the comments. I tell you what, the pond already looks a lot better. It's 46 degrees out here today. I'm not wading off in there to compare the muck, but I can tell a difference. And I think the longer that aerator runs and the longer I use these chemicals, the better it's gonna get. There's a lot of companies that make pond products. I chose to work with Condors because they've been around a long time. They've got a great reputation. I watched a YouTube channel called The Northern Farmer. He has one of the Condors aerators that's like 30 years old. And then he's got a newer one on another pond. But the old one is still running, so that really says a lot. It says for an unaerated pond, you're supposed to dilute this and walk around the pond and, you know, spread it. But for an aerated pond, you can just dump it next to the aerator and it'll circulate that way. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'll have to go out onto the island to dump that, but this should really help with a lot of different aspects of the pond to make it look nicer, make it actually be healthier. It's good to help your fish in the winter. So I'm really happy with the way this is coming along, and I can't wait to get the windmill and the bridge put up. So I'm gonna go ahead and pour this in. I've already put the other treatment in the septic system. I appreciate you taking time to watch the video. You should see more of our videos on the screen right here, and I'll see you next time.